Okay, sir. Now.
Okay, sir. Again, you need to permit me.
Yes, yes, sure, sure.
It is showing the host disable the participant screen sharing.
Yes, it's eligible. Now you can.
Okay, fine, sir. Okay, thanks. So we see the whole picture of this particular data science, machine learning, AI, ML, and DL. Means this is the picture. The broad area is the computer science where both data science and AI resides, and it overlaps some area, and this area is covered by all DL, ML, and AI. And the machine learning, which is a core part of the artificial intelligence, is a major stake in the coverage area. So the data science and machine learning, these are the two techniques which are responsible for the generation of smarter machine with the help of data. Because without data, you cannot train any machine. So this is the one of the area where AI uses the help of data science to train the machines. So what are the different tasks which are available in the field of machine learning and data science? So we see the tasks are available. There are three different tasks, that are descriptive analysis, the predictive analysis, and the prospective analysis. Means the three different tasks are available. Means the descriptive means you have to describe. With the help of data science, we can describe in two types. Number one, we can describe in the statistical way, and we can describe in a some subjective way, where we can predict the things. Means on the basis of our data, we can predict the future or some unknown variables. And the last is the prescriptive. We can prescribe or recommend something. So the data science and ML can describe something, the predict something, and the prescribe something for the user. So these three tasks can be done in a different way. So what are the data science is carried out? So data science is carried out through different things. The data driven decision making, it is the main purpose of the data science. The second, it is the purpose to make the sense out of data. We can find that something information, something fruitful, means it is a complete process. We can make the wisdom from the data, means data that can be processed and make the information can be processed, the knowledge can be used up to the taking the decision and reach the highest level of the cognitive level called wisdom. So we can, the purpose of the data science to take the sense out of data, means from data we move towards the wisdom. Okay? The next purpose is the finding the hidden patterns in the data, means the huge amount of data is available, and the huge amount of data, the patterns are invisible. So our purpose is that to find out those patterns which are available in the data but are not seen due to the vast amount of data. So with the help of the data science, the help of the machine learning, we find out those patterns which is not visible directly because the amount of data is so large. The next is the intelligence data analysis. In the older days, we think about the data analysis, data analysis, data analysis. Now the term comes the intelligent data analysis, means the data analysis which can be utilized to make our business profitable. Means the analysis can be done in a such way that it can be make fruitful to the company, fruitful to the business, fruitful to the organizations. Means a data analysis is just not that the you can find oh so much average is there, that what is the year on year basis we are where is we lie, but it on the basis of that what the new strategy we can make. Means the data analysis can be utilized for a decision making of a company, for making a policy of a company such that it can make a profitable business. So it is called intelligent data analysis, not the data analysis. It's called intelligent data analysis. It is the purpose of data science. And overall data science area is covered a multiple domain. So what are the domains? The data science covers mathematics, means you should know some mathematics. If you want to go into the data science, you should know some mathematics. The second, the statistics, programming and coding, the database management system, some part of data mining, data warehousing, machine learning, and deep learning. So the data science is a combination of this whole as a mathematics, statistics, programming and coding, database management system, data mining, data warehousing, machine learning, and deep learning. These are some area which can cover this data science as a whole. So the techniques, we already discussed the techniques, the basic techniques, the database management system, where we learn about how the data can be stored, how data can be used for the transaction purpose, how the data can be utilized for our day-to-day life. Means it is called database management system, where we utilize the things as a day-to-day life, where the data warehousing, where the non-transactional data can be stored, the data repository. So how we can store our data which is not used in a day-to-day life. So it can be used for other purpose like decision making and policy making. We can keep this data in a data warehouse. The data mining, the intelligent algorithm can be derived from the data mining. The data mining is now change its perspective, because when the data mining came into the picture, the 2 decades back, 20 years back, the data mining came into the picture. It is a very growing technology, and the purpose, the algorithms are available, means we give the data to the scientist, we give the data to analyst, and give the some problem, and the problem, on the basis of that problem, the data mining analyst or programmer doing some algorithm and generate an algorithm in such way that it can be utilized the data, it can find the hidden patterns and take some time. But nowadays the company doesn't want to give the time, because uh, the today's era, the time is changing so rapidly. If we delay something, the result cannot be utilized for other purpose. Means we are living in this age, if we are not attempt a particular thing in a right time, it doesn't mean something. Means right thing in a right time, it's a today's era. So the picture that came is now is a big data. The technology requires a technique called big data, and big data is a, what is the difference between data and big data? Is there a difference? If you're saying a big data and data is a difference, there are a small difference, the size of the data. Big data, anyone can give the different definition of the big data. What is actually big data is? Any participant can give the example. What is big data?
Dear students, question to you.
So data greater than 10,000
Data greater than
10,000 GB.
Okay, fine. This is the one of the aspect you are saying correctly, the data which is a larger in size, but it is not only the basic difference, because if we are saying difference between program and software, you already student of computer science, so you know what is program, what is software. In generally, we are in practical, we are saying we are making a program, not the software. But at the final year or pre-final year, you are making some projects. You are not saying you are making a program. You can say making a project or making a software. The difference between program and software is, what is the difference between program and software? Can anyone describe me? What is the basic difference? Program and software. Is there a difference or it is same?
Set of programming is called software.
Please repeat.
Set of programming.
Set of programming
Is called a program. It's called a software.
Okay, means a single program is a program, and the multiple programs we club become a software. It is true.
Yes, yes, exactly.
A set of instructions, and a set of programs is a software.
Okay,
Setup instruction is program. Setup instruction is called program, and setup program is called software.
okay. So this is the difference. Basically, we can uh, define in a particular on the base of size. You are saying a one. If we give a one task, you are making a one program. I give you 10 tasks, so you're making a 10 program, and you can say this 10 program is a collection of software, or you can saying 10. These are the 10 programs only. The question is that because one program and so the difference between program and software, as you are saying correctly, because the group of programs is known as software. But the difference is not only the group of program, the complexity of the particular program is rise, because a program, we say 100-line program, and we are making 1,000 line which are having 10 programs. The difference is not 10 times or 100 times, because the software is complex more than this, because the software requires the complete process. Means if you are build a software, you require first analysis, requirement gathering, then analysis, then design, then coding, then testing. Means you require the complete phase, because the software program requires a multiple things, and multiple things a team is required to build a software. But for a program, there is no such requirement. You can sit on a single sitting, you can make a program, but you cannot make a software in a single sitting, because the complexity of the program is so high. In a similar fashion, the data and with the big data, the difference is not only the volume. Volume is the one part. What is the different other parameter which creates the big data more complex? Now let's we see what are the different the big data. What are the different aspects which creates a big data as a complex data? These are some. These are there which create big data as a complex. The number one is volume. The student already said the size of the data. If a data is more than this size, we can say it's a big data. So volume is required, no doubt. The volume means the size of the data is so large. The second is the velocity. Velocity means velocity. Can anyone? What is the term velocity for the data purpose? Can you,
So the speed with which the data is growing in
the
volume.
speed the speed with the data is okay, it is the come under the volume. The velocity means the speed, means the speed of increasing the volume. It is not the velocity of the screen, the speed of the data which is changes. Volume is one part, volume is already a large part, but the second is velocity, means the significance of the data change very rapidly. Means the Twitter or Facebook or a social media or something, they give you something advice in the right time, in the right direction. Means if today something going to be happen, so the advertise need to be displayed on today only. If the advertise is made after 1 day or 2 day, there is no significance. So the velocity means that the data is changes rapidly, means the demand is changes rapidly, means the data changes, data creates the demand, data creates the other aspects. If the data changes, the all whole things are changes. Means the velocity means the changing of the demand. The Facebook, the Twitter, you will see, if you read one tweet, you read one some text in the Facebook, you can laugh because you correlate with this particular tweet or particular joke with the current scenario. After 2 years, the same joke you cannot correlate, because this is a time driven technology. Because the velocity means the change of coming of the data, means the it is with respect to time, the data coming and it is going. So we need to incorporate this data with our analysis faster. Means the data came today, we have to analyze data today itself, and we need to put the result today. We cannot say to give me the data today, I will give the analysis after 3 days. It is no meaning in the today's world. Today words, it is the velocity, means the data is changing so fast. If the after 3 days the scenario is different, you cannot, we they cannot use the analysis of the last 3 days for the today purpose. It is called velocity. The next complexity is the variety, because in the earlier days the text is more popular, the image are more popular. Right now the data is comes in different varieties, not only text, not only image, it requires the video, it requires the audio, images, and so many complex data. So the variety is available. So these first three V's are the basic component of any big data. The big data can be defined with the three V's: volume, velocity, and variety. Apart from these three V's, the new V's are more coming towards the in the database. The next is the veracity, means the inconsistency or some kind of fuzziness are there, uncertainties are there. So veracity is the vagueness, uncertainties called variability, value, venue, vocabulary, vagueness, visibility, visualization. These are the some more V's which create a big data more complex and required a new technology and new type of algorithm to handle. So that's why the some data which are stored in a database or a new technology called Hadoop and Spark are available to manage this data. But for analysis purpose, we require again a technique called machine learning. So the machine learning is a technique which can incorporate with this technique, means machine learning can be incorporated with the big data so that we can analyze this volume of data with this velocity and this variety. Means the data contains volume, data contains velocity, means it can change after 2 days. Data contains the variety, which data have audio signals, video, image, and so on. And it have a multiple ambiguity or say something uncertainty in the data. There is some vagueness in the data. So we need to incorporate all the things with our machine learning technique, and this machine learning can perform the operation on this big data and give the result very early or very as soon as possible, so that it can be utilized for a within a day or within a hour, so that we can use this data in fruitful manner. Otherwise, the data cannot be useful in a organizational purpose. So the machine learning techniques are required to handle this type of problem, because the big data, because Hadoop is there, the Spark is there, which is storing the data. They can use the store the data, they can manage the data, but for the analysis purpose, they are not useful. For the purpose of analysis, we require some techniques like Mahout. Mahout, what is Mahout? Mahout is again a software which is built on the top of the our Hadoop, and this work on the technology called machine learning, because it required a machine learning techniques so that it can work on a big data and produce fruitful result. These are some basic steps required in data science projects. What are the different steps are available? Data acquisition. First, we require to collect the data from the different sources. The second task, we need to prepare the data, means data before going for the analysis, we require to prepare, means we have to clean the data, we need to transform the data. So that is called data preparation, data cleaning, and data transformation. And then we have to analyze this data. After analysis, we have to build some model, and after modeling, we found the result and we have to visualize this result, and after we deploy this technique and maintain this technique. These are the some steps which are involved in the data science project. In any data science project, the data acquisition is first, the data preparation is second, analysis is third, modeling is fourth, visualization, finally deployment and maintenance. Any data science project requires these phases. And so the new roles of the data scientist or the programmer or analyst and software engineers are came into the picture. So some new designations are came in this particular scenario. So what are these new designations, or we can say roles of a data science? So now not the software engineer, not the programmer, there comes like data analyst, data architect, data engineer, data scientist, and data administrator. These are the some new roles are came into the picture when the data science growing in a huge space. The data analyst required, data architect required, and the companies are appointing this type of designation, this type of roles to the person to a specific task. It is the role of data science in the era. Now come to the second our topic, that is machine learning. By definition, we already see machine learning is a process to make the computer learn. But how? On the basis of experience. What is experience? The past experience is available. Means if we give the data, on the basis of data, it can learn automatically and improves its algorithm, improves its modeling itself. Means machine learning, first we have to build some model, and the model can get upgrade and update itself by the use of this experience, the environment available, the data available with this machine, it can improve itself. So it is the area where machine learning can use. So where we can use the machine learning. So there are three different area or the categories are available where we use machine learning. The first is the supervised way learning. In this type of machine learning, where we have a data and the target are available. Target means if we provide the data, what should be the result is available, so that we can train our model based on supervised learning. So it is a basic problems of the supervised learning are the classification and the regression. There we need to classify the data, but the labels or the target labels are known. Means we are know we have in advance what are the different targets are available. We need to classify this data on this particular labels. It means we have a data, we have a target label, and we have to classify data. So it is called supervised learning. The basic algorithms involved in supervised learning is linear regression, the logistic regression. Linear regression means there is no boundary from minus infinity to plus infinity is a linear regression. The logistic regression, if we need some boundary, we restrict or we normalize this data between 0 to 1. That is called zero or 1 logic. So logistic regression is there. Okay. Naive Bayesian classifier, support vector machine, random forest, decision tree. These are the some machine learning algorithm which is used for supervised learning for the purpose of classification, the purpose of regression. Means the purpose of to classify the data or to predict something. For the prediction purpose also we can use this algorithm. The second is unsupervised learning. Means we have a data but we don't have any target or we don't have any labeled target. So in this way the machine can learn itself with the help of data and segregate the data into the groups, and groups provide some label to that. It is called unsupervised learning, where the target or the label is unknown. We provide the data to the machine read this data and make some groups on the basis of some property, and the properties can be decided by machine itself. Means we don't need to provide any type of features, because it is an unsupervised learning. In the supervised learning, the target is available and we just need to provide some features. On the basis of this particular feature, the classification can be made. But in unsupervised learning, we need not to supply anything because we don't know about the data, and the data automatically sorted by the machine and provide some disjoint groups. It's called unsupervised learning. And the third one is the reinforcement learning. It is again the target is unknown, like unsupervised, but here some feedback mechanism are available. Means on the basis of feedback, the machine can learn itself on the basis of experience. But the target is unknown, but the feedback or hint is available because the environment provides some feedback to the machine. On the basis of this feedback, the machine can update itself. It is called reinforcement learning. These are three basic types of learning are there: supervised, where target or label is available. Basic outcomes are linear regression, logic regression, Naive Bayesian, support vector machine, random forest, decision tree. Unsupervised learning, where the target is unknown and we can make different groups, we can predict something, we can combine something with the help of algorithm. And the main algorithms of this particular unsupervised learning is k-mean for the clustering purpose, because making a group without knowing the target, it is called clustering. And the second is a priori, with the help of this algorithm, we can make some rules, that is called association rule. So unsupervised learning provides two things: clustering and association. The third one is the reinforcement learning, where the target is unknown, but some feedback is available from the machine side, and on the basis of this feedback, which is come from the environment where the machine is deployed, on the basis of this feedback, we update ourselves, a machine update itself. It is called machine learning. The basic algorithm is Q learning. That is a means value learning. Then here Q means quality, value. So value learning is available with the help of environment. It can create a value to the algorithm. So basic algorithm, we already see the techniques can be used for the classification. Classification means where the data labels are available and we need to predict the right class with the help of supervised learning. The second is clustering, where we have to make a groups without the help of unknown labels. So it is called clustering. The regression used for the prediction something, to predict something from the observation. It is called regression. The forecasting something, we have to forecast something, we have to use regression. We have to classify something, we have to use classification. If we have to classify something but the target is unknown, it is known as clustering. So these are the some three basic tasks of the machine learning, where the classification and regression comes under supervised category and the clustering comes under unsupervised category. So we can see clearly what are supervised, what are unsupervised, and what is reinforced. So this is the picture which clear the things. The supervised learning, where target is available, the classification and regression are used. In the unsupervised learning, clustering is used. Reinforcement learning, decision making can be helped with the help of the following algorithms, which is listed. That is called support vector machine in the supervised learning, k-means in the unsupervised learning, and q learning in the reinforcement learning. These are some basic algorithms are available. So as and when we required, we can use, because there are so many algorithms are there, but we need to choose.
Vivek sir. Vivek sir. Vivek sir. हाँ विवेक सर।
हेलो, हाँ जी सर,
यस
हेलो।
यस सर, यस सर।
अच्छा, वो सर म्यूटेड हो गया था, इट इज म्यूटेड समथिंग।
और इट्स नहीं 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 बिल्कुल नहीं हुआ था, आपके एंड से कुछ कनेक्शन प्रॉब्लम हो गया था। नो इट्स ओके फाइन।
ओके फाइन सर, ओके।
सर 7-8 मिनट्स बच गया सर, कि आगे फिर सेशन इसको लॉग इन करें कि क्या करें, एंड करेंगे आप?
अगर कुछ क्वेरीज होगी तो अब एक काम करते हैं, 2 पार्ट दिखा के इसको क्वेरीज के लिए ले सकते हैं। अगर कुछ क्वेरीज करनी होगी किसी को तो वी कैन टेक फॉर क्वेरीज। हाँ, है ना?
स्टूडेंट्स,
तो मेरे ख्याल से
ठीक है, इसको अभी टाइम है अपने पास, 8 मिनट टाइम है अभी।
हाँ 8 मिनट है, हाँ 8 मिनट में इसको कंक्लूड करके देखते हैं, वी कैन ना टेक
ओके ओके
इफ
सर,
रिक्वायर्ड हम लॉग इन कर लेंगे।
राइट राइट।
ठीक, ओके राइट। So what is learning means? So the learning means a computer improve the performance by itself with the experience, or how it can be used by the model. We are making a model. A model is, what is model? Model is just a relationship between the variables which describe the system. It's called model. And the purpose of this model is to predict something or the better understand the system we are making. So this is the purpose of learning. So when we use this machine learning, where to use this machine learning? Where the human expertise does not exist, means where we make a program based on machine learning, or where we have to make a program with the conventional programming. There are 2 types of programming: conventional programming and machine learning programming. When the system is deterministic, we have to use the traditional programming. If the things are undeterministic, we need to use machine learning. So the human expertise does not exist, means the things where human expertise is less, we have to use machine learning. The second, the humans are unable to explain their expertise, like speech recognition problem, where humans are difficult because the humans are not able to recognize the different speech. The machine learning can help. The solution time change in time, it is again a machine learning came to the picture, and the solution needs some adoption. Again, the traditional programming in unable to incorporate, we need machine learning. So how this machine learning or model building can be done? So there are 2 things: training and testing. First, we need to build a model with some training data, and finally we have to check this model with the testing purpose. So we see here, this is the machine learning algorithm. We provide the data, training data, and on the basis of this training data, the machine is work fine or not. We have to check with the test data. First, we have to design ML algorithm. We have to train this ML algorithm with the training data, and on the basis of training data, we have to test whether the classifier is working or not, whether the result is giving or perfect or not. So it is the way where we have to perform some training to the machine learning model, and if the model provides a better result, we adopt this. If model doesn't provide the better result, again we have to change the algorithm. We need to change some modification. On the modification, again we have to perform the training data, again we rebuild the model, again we check the evaluate. If the result is in our favor, so we can adopt this, otherwise again we rebuild the model. It is a cyclic process. If it is a supervised learning, it is a cyclic process. In unsupervised learning, the results came and we have a disjoint sets. The results can be improved with the help of some parameter called cluster modes, cluster nodes. So that can be improve the performance. So in the supervised learning, how can we check that? We process the data, we perform some training. After training, we have to perform some test. If it is successfully perform the test data, then we have used for the prediction purpose. So it is the model building way. This is another example where supervised learning is can be work. In the unsupervised learning, there is no some training, there is no test data. We have to provide the raw data, and it can, basis of the data, the algorithm itself divide into particular classes on the basis of features. It is called unsupervised learning. Reinforcement learning, where the environment came into the picture, means some feedback mechanism is available. On the basis of feedback, the machine improve itself. It's called reinforcement learning. This is the accuracy checking for the particular model. If we build a model, how the model is working fine or not, on the basis of, first we give the on the model we give the some training data. On the basis of training data, if we perform a good result, we move towards testing. If doesn't provide the good result on a training data, the model is called underfitted model, or underfitting is available. Means if the model is not working well for the training data set, it is called underfitting. If the model is going well for a training data but not going well for a test data, means training is successful but test is not successfully completed, is called overfitting. Means a model is such that it is good for the training purpose but not for the testing purpose. For testing data, it is not classified purely, it is called overfitting. If the model is working a good for training data set as well as test data set, it is called good model. So we can check whether our model is underfitted or overfitted for a good model. If overfitting is there, we need to change our strategy. If underfitting, we need to improve the training data set so that our model can be moved towards the good model or a good fit model. It is the some feature selection area. On the basis of, we can perform some learning, because machine learning is a very broad topic and we cannot cover in a short span. But the feature selection means on the basis we can classify, on the basis we can predict. It's called feature selection. And what are those features which is truly required? We have to check. This is the support vector machine classification. This is some example, but time not permit us to describe. So it is just an example. These are some live area. Machine learning has a wide spectrum. Machine learning, fraud detection, speech understanding, face detection, decision making, sentiment analysis, autonomous driving cars, recommendation systems, language translation, spam email detection is an example. These all are the live applications of the machine learning. Text summarization, Google News uses this. The data tools required for machine learning and data science is number one, R and Python. These are the two tools which are used nowadays, R and Python. So
Yes,
there are
so this is the last minute. So if you have any query, you can have. Okay, this is the last minute of this session.
So R and Python are the two different. You can ask anything if you want to say. It is the last slide. Because two language, as far as computer science is student, I recommend you have to learn both. You have to learn R as well as Python, and then decide in which you want to excel yourself. But you cannot go, I'm R user, I'm a Python user. For a computer science user, you have to learn both. And after, you have to decide which one is better for your Excel purpose or your project purpose.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Almost it is over, sir. Just some few seconds left. So thank you very much, sir, for your informative session, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Students, if you have any query, you can communicate to me so that I can communicate to sir. Okay, time is almost over. So thank you once again. Thank you very much, everyone.